And welcome once again. It is Tuesday night and time for our Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast. Of course, we are live out on the patio at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District, as you can see, just outside of the Broken Spoke Tap House. So you're more than welcome to come down and join us as we are here every Tuesday. And, of course, your Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast brought to you by Instacopy Imaging. Before I bring in our guest tonight, which I'm very happy to go ahead and have this gentleman here, been looking forward to getting him in here for a while. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and go over a few things sports-wise that have been going on for the past week. Of course, New Mexico has announced the playoff schedule for the men's and for the baseball and softball lineups. In fact, Centennial softball team, state runner-ups from last season, had an unbeaten season this year and were seeded number 1 in the Class 5A state tournament. The Hawks will play number 16 Capital in the first round on Friday at 6 p.m. at the Field of Dreams softball complex. 8 first-round winners will advance to the double elimination tournament in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho on May 12th, with the big school final on May 13th at the University of New Mexico. Mayfield was seeded number 9 and will play number 8 Albuquerque in the first round, and Organ Mountain was seeded number 10 and will play number 7 Cibola in the first round. Centennial baseball team swept a Thursday doubleheader against Las Cruces High to win District 3 5A at a 13-2 season record. Both teams will host a best-of-3 first-round series on Friday and Saturday at the Field of Dreams baseball complex. The Hawks were seeded number 6 in the Class 5A and will host number 11 Farmington. Las Cruces was seeded number 8 and will host number 9 Rio Grande. And Organ Mountain was seeded number 13 and will play number 4 Volcano Vista. And Mayfield is the number 15 seed and will play at number 2 La Cueva. Also, congratulations going out to Garrison Smith, who punched his ticket to the NCAA tournament after winning the individual title at the WAC Men's Golf Championship. Over the course of the 3 days, Smith broke the 21-year-old WAC Men's Golf Championship record by shooting a 197, 19 under. What a score. Smith became the first individual champion for New Mexico State since 2014 when Pei Behan won. As a team, NM State finished in second place, shooting an 835 on the weekend. The Aggies were edged out by Grand Canyon on the final day as the Lopes clinched the team title. And for the third time this season, NM State and New Mexico will meet on the Diamond. They are actually right now battling it out up in Albuquerque. The first pitch was at 6 o'clock. And, of course, I believe that Darius Garcia is going to be getting the nod as the starting pitcher for the Aggies. He downed the Lobos as a left-hander. He worked 5 innings the last time they met of shutout baseball, allowing just 2 hits when they went up to Albuquerque last time and won 2-0. And this is great news for NFL fans, particularly as a 49er fan that I am, because 2 Aggies were invited to the NFL rookie mini camps on Sunday. Linebacker Trevor Brohard joins the group on Monday. Brohard has earned a spot at the San Francisco 49ers training camp. Like I said, I'm a 49er fan. I'm very happy to hear that. As a senior, Brohard finished second on the team with 69 tackles, trailing just Chris Ojo. The Los Lunas, New Mexico native started all 13 games for the Crimson and White in 2022. Brohard recorded his first ever career interception in the Quick Lane Bowl and his final collegiate game, which was an awesome game. Brohard joins Chris Ojo with the New Orleans Saints and Lazarus Williams with Miami Dolphins as members of the 2022 Aggies who have earned a shot at the National Football League. And now we will go ahead and bring in our guest today. Like I said, I'm very excited to go ahead and have this gentleman in here since we made the announcement because, you start talking about starting from the beginning, from the very first building block right there. We have Coach Jason Hooten, NMSU head basketball coach. Welcome to the Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me in today.
Okay, and so I got to ask right away, how's Las Cruces treating you?
Terrific. Been just not pleasantly surprised because I think I already had a good idea, but the people here are just unbelievably friendly and just made me feel so welcome right now. And my family came down for the weekend. They had to go back and finish up school, but we had such a good time. You know, everywhere you go, someone is interested in New Mexico State athletics and also men's basketball. And it's just a great feeling to be in a community where, you know, where the university really, really matters.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's got to be one of the things that made you decide to come down here, because I know you came down for a visit and had to go back and think about it, talk with the family. But what is it that just made you think this is the right fit for you?
Yeah, a lot of things. I think the biggest thing is just the history of the basketball program. Coach Henson, and the list goes on about all the greats that won here and played here, and and then the fans. I mean, the fan base here is just amazing. You're putting 7, 8, 9,000 people in the stadium every night in the Pan Am, and just those kind of things there were what really enticed me and intrigued me about the job. And then, of course, there's a great challenge right now. We've got a tremendous challenge ahead of us, starting over from scratch, with the team and the coaching staff. And so I just think all of those things in a combination. And then Mario did a terrific job of recruiting me, and just really making me feel like this was the job that needed me and I needed it. And I just think it was a match made in heaven.
How does the family think about the move?
Yeah, it was interesting. I really thought that might be the holdup, and I don't know, when you have to make a tough decision, sometimes you obviously, you're praying and trying to, find answers along the way. But I guess it was kind of maybe me not hoping that the family would be against it, but you're looking for an easy answer. And it was just the opposite, man. We came back from our visit and they were more excited and more interested in it than I was. And so it was just really a good feeling by me just to know that my family was so encouraged about this place and then wanting to be here. And it made my decision a lot easier.
Oh, well, when the family is backing you and you got the backing of the kids and the wife and everything, decisions become a lot easier. That's for sure.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely, absolutely. You don't want it the opposite way at all.
No, it wouldn't be a good start picking them up and moving them to another state for sure.
Yeah, we've had some experiences. We'll just put it that way. We'll just put it easily that way. We've had some experiences, but one of the things I think when everybody comes to check this out is that sense of community. And like I said, you're so new. You're still getting into it. Your kids are still in school. Back at home, and I can say home because no, this is your home now.
Right.
But they're still in school. They've got to finish up their semester before they come down here and everything else like that. So like you really are still kind of new and getting things taken care of here.
Yeah. Right now we're still in the process of trying to find a home, and I think like anything, once you find that home, then you'll feel at home even more. And we're all kind of in a rental house right now, and having an opportunity to get a lot of work done because we have a lot of work to do. And, I want my family to be here as quick as possible. But right now we're so busy, you don't know how much time you'd really have to spend with each other. So, you miss them. You miss my daughter just finished up softball there. And, my son has a tennis tournament this weekend. So, those are things that you definitely wish you were there for and you would miss. But those are also things that we're going to get an opportunity to do here together. And real soon. So just got to fight through this next month. And, in the meantime, hopefully we can continue to sign some good players and, get ourselves prepared and ready for that 23-24 season.
Well, since you brought it up, sir, recruiting is definitely something that you've got to hit the ground running with to get things prepared for the next season. And I think right now you've got, I think last I checked, 4 players, but you just signed someone this afternoon. They made that announcement this afternoon. So how is that recruiting process going for you right now?
Yeah, it's I think it's going really well. I mean, I feel real confident right now that we're going in the right direction. We've signed 5 guys that are good players, and I think guys that can step in right away. And the joke in the office is, at this point in time, we can actually we can play a game right now. We've got 5.
You've got 5.
We've had 5. So
you're going to be real tired at the end of that game, but you can play a game.
Well, everybody wants to play wants to play the whole game, right? Yeah. So, but I think we're going to I hope we're going to get some good news tonight on maybe our 6th, and and then we got an opportunity maybe to get some good news tomorrow on our 7th, and hopefully this weekend on our 8th. And then we got a young man coming to visit maybe tomorrow, and by Sunday we could have 9 players, and only have 4 left, and so we're off to a good start. My staff I think we've put together a really good staff that really enjoys being around each other and just works really hard. And right now, none of them have their families here either. And so we're all staying in the same home together. We stay up all night long talking and watching video, and, it's really making sure that we're getting the right student athlete for here.
It's just like being in the college dorms again.
Almost. It feels like it. It really does. Except, we're getting takeout, and we got leftovers going in the fridge. And, Coach Jans was, Coach Jans and his wife, Sherry, were so just so nice to be able to let us, have their place for a
Oh,
month or so.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
so just to let us have their place for a month or so just says a lot about them as people and
Hmm.
how much they care about this university still. So we're excited about the process. It's a challenge for sure, as we've talked, but looking forward to maybe here in the next couple of weeks being really really close to having a team.
Okay, that's cool. And as far as your coaches go, you still got a few.
We
You got a few more spots
We
open?
do. We still have a couple spots open. We have 2 spots left, and I'm pretty close to, I think, finishing up one of them. I'll hopefully know something by next week on that one, and then that'll just leave us one more to go. And again, just like players, we're trying to make sure it's the right fit, that we all have the right chemistry together, and guys all have strengths and weaknesses that we can kind of attach to, and just try to help each other out.
Well, at this point in time, when you're building, it's almost pretty much like a jigsaw puzzle. Like you said, you're trying to find those pieces that are going to fit well. You're going to find those pieces that make everything bring that whole picture together as a team, as a coaching staff, and everything else like that. So trying to find those right pieces that are going to fit right in where you need them. That's the trick right there, and that's why you're the coach and I'm just the guy with the microphone. So
Well, it is. We talk about our defense all the time being like a jigsaw puzzle. If you had a box and you just threw it out on the floor, it doesn't put itself together, and
Nope.
you got to put it together piece by piece, brick by brick. Whether you're a inside out or an outer guy, and you do the outside of the puzzle first and then work your way in. It just kind of depends on your philosophy with that. But either way, it's got to be put together piece by piece. And so we're working towards that right now, I think, with our staff and also with our student athletes.
well, that's awesome. When Coach Kill came in, a lot of times he talked about playing Coach Kill football. And bringing those kids together to make sure that they're going to play the type of football that he'd like to play. Is there an idea in your mind on what Coach Hooten basketball would be like?
I think those things are what they'll always have been.
Mm.
We're going to be a team that probably is a defensive first team. We'll always play hard and be physical, and a lot of pressure on the ball and up in the passing lanes and being aggressive. But again, I think it starts with defense, and that's always kind of been my philosophy and my personality, and I don't think that'll change here.
No, no, no. Defense will win you those games because I'm not gonna lie. I like a high scoring game and I like a little bit of fun in there. But when you can shut someone down, and stop them from making the points, because somebody once told me that the winner of the game scores more points. So if you can stop them from scoring the points,
Yeah.
you're fine.
I like high scoring teams or games. I like high scoring games too, as long as it's not the other team.
It's not the other team.
Just
that's
our
scoring all
team.
the points.
Yeah, and you're right. I think that the team usually that scores one or more points is the team that wins.
Well, we've had our fair share of really exciting last minute games, here in the Pan Am.
Yeah.
And a few of them, of course, are against our rivals. You got to look forward to those UTEP and New Mexico games up in Albuquerque down here. And I'm sure they've talked to you already about that. So whatever you do, don't lose those games.
Yeah, I think that's pretty evident, pretty clear. While I was at Sam Houston, our game with Stephen F. Austin was a lot like that. The fans really get into that. They really get up for that game. And, it's kind of funny. I always used to tell people that the football coach could go 1-11 as long as that one win was SFA.
Yeah.
And that's kind of funny. We don't want to do that. We obviously are going to take every game like it's the New Mexico or the UTEP game. And, like this year and my team this year, we're going to try to win. We're going to try to win as many as we can.
Yeah, well, one little wrinkle that they've thrown in that for this year, of course, this will be our first year in Conference USA. UTEP game not only is just a rivalry game, but now it's a conference game as well. So that's going to be just as much to go ahead and get in there. But what are your feelings on Conference USA?
Yeah, it definitely puts the stakes higher for sure. But I think Conference USA is a very competitive conference. You're looking at teams that spanned all the way up into Virginia and all the way as far as out as us. And so it's going to be an interesting travel. We've got to go all the way down to Florida International and Miami. So it's the traveling it'll be interesting for sure. But with 9 teams and you'll play 8 of those twice, it'll be 16 games. You're actually going to find a true champion. It won't be an odd number here and there, or someone gets a home game while the other team doesn't. So I do think that we'll have an opportunity to find a true champion in the Conference USA.
Yeah, and it all just comes down to, how everything's going to come together for this first season, because I want to say it's going to be how this person picks up this or this person picks up this, but we don't know. It's there's a lot of unknowns about this, since you are literally starting from scratch on everything.
Yeah, our team will be, probably this first year, our team will be made up strongly of the portal. And, a lot of times from the portal, it's hard for people to determine, what you have, because a guy maybe averaged a certain amount of points somewhere doesn't necessarily mean he'll average that many for us or in that league. And then vice versa. If a guy averaged 5 or 6 points, maybe at a higher division or a higher league, then, why does he not maybe double his stats here? So I think that's hard to determine. I think nowadays you're going to have a hard time just trying to figure out exactly what everybody has.
Yeah, in fact, that's one of those things is that you don't know until you get there. And then when you get there, it's too late. It's not like, oh, I should have done this. But those are the growing pains, I guess you could say, of bringing a whole new program into it like that. So when you were talking with Mario about that whole thing, did that seem like more of a challenge to you to be able to do that, or you're like, well, I don't know about that?
Well, sure. I mean, I thought from the beginning, we kind of made up our mind that, or I made up my mind that, starting over was the thing to do. And it didn't matter who was coming back. It didn't matter whether they were on a scholarship or whether they were a walk-on or not. This is now my program, and I wanted to turn the page, and I wanted to start over afresh. And, so we have, and we're going to bring in 13 new guys. And yeah, I mean, that's always a challenge. I don't think there's too many people that have had to do that before, but I also think it gives you a chance to bring your own guys and also to bring your own culture and to build your culture and, make things exactly the way you want them.
No, absolutely. It's your team, and you're going to run it the way that you feel like it needs to be run. And in many ways, that fresh start for you is more of a leg up than it is coming in and maybe dealing with players that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, it's a good point by you. I mean, you got kids that are wanting to come back, or kids that are, as I said, walk-ons or not on a scholarship. And, it's not fair to them because I don't know them. I don't know their game. I've not watched them play before. And so, to tell a guy, hey, look, we don't have time right now for me to watch you play and to figure out whether or not you're going to be able to help us. We got to go out and we got to recruit guys or sign guys that we've watched play all year long and that we know, or a guy maybe that comes with me from Sam Houston that I actually have already coached. So in all fairness, I mean, I thought was the best thing for us to do and what I wanted to do.
Okay. No, and like I said, in many ways, that's more of an advantage for you and for the team as a whole than having to walk into something where, you've got a certain amount of players that are going to be there and scholarship players and everything else, and then trying to make it fit, as opposed to getting those pieces that you would really like to get in there.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And I know everybody is really looking forward to getting this whole season kicking off. What is it you think that you're looking forward to the most about it? Is it that first game, or is it is it the crowds? Is it what do you think you're looking forward to getting into that first game?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I think what I look forward to the most is just getting these guys together and start practicing.
Is that first practice?
Yeah, you start to work this summer and you start putting in your philosophies and your offense and your defense, and you break it from day one, ground zero.
Yeah.
I like that. I think as long as I'm coaching and I'm still really excited about that first day of practice and just going to practice every day and really teaching and watching these guys learn and watching them pick up things and get better and better. It's like this year's team. I mean, we had so many experienced guys returning, and yet those guys just continue to get better on a daily basis. And so I like that the most. I think I'm looking forward to that the most. But don't get me wrong now. I'm going to be super excited to walk in that Pan Am on November the 8th and see that thing packed and with people that are really excited about the home team.
Well, trust me, I think you're not the only one that's really looking forward. Everything else is going to be there. And just looking forward to see how things overall are going to be going with the team. Because I know that right now, I'm not going to ask any questions about anything like that, but right now there's a lot of apprehension about what's been going on in the situations that have been happening right there, to the point that's like, I think everybody needs to just take that breath and step back and say, okay, you know what's going on, let's go ahead and get this thing done. And like I said, we're starting over and we're going to show you what we can do.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk much about this because I think we have already, and I think we've said what we needed to say, and it's time to move forward and turn the page. But I mean, you're right. I mean, I think that's what I had to do when I was put into this situation. I think I had to take a deep breath and take a step back and say, look, this is now my program, and this is what I want to do. You know, I want to start over. It's nothing against anybody. It's just, it's what I had to do. I had to start over, and I had to bring my guys in, my own guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what they hire and fire coaches for. You know, I mean, that's what they hired me for, was to run my program and to do things the way I want to do them. And I wouldn't have took the job if I didn't get to do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. You know, we're starting over. We've got 13 new guys coming in, and I think that's the way in this situation that'll best work.
Yeah. And I think that's actually what they brought you in there for, to go ahead and get that done. And, as far as all the machinations behind the scenes right there, you feel like everybody's got your back and they're ready to go for this season right here.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think I would have taken the job if I didn't feel any otherwise. I mean, I think the support here has been amazing. Everybody's excited about the season. Everybody's excited about turning the page and moving forward. Everybody's been extremely positive to me, extremely positive to the university. And, I know there's a lot going on right now, but I do think we've talked a lot about it, and it's time to move on, and it's time to get ready for 23-24.
Absolutely. So now let's get to some of the important questions right here. And those important questions basically have to do with have you figured out your favorite restaurant yet?
Woo! Gosh, dog.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It really is. I think you asked me at the beginning about Las Cruces, and I will say one of the biggest things I've noticed is we have so many good food places in town.
Oh yeah, there's a ton.
I mean, we're sitting here eating at one right now. I've had dinner here, and it's terrific. So, I hate answering that.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to answer.
I hate answering.
Every
I hate
place
answering
you go
that.
is one of your favorites.
It really is. I think it'd be really hard to not say that the Double Eagle is one of those that sits right up there. But
But what's that general feeling about New Mexican food? Las Cruces.
Yeah, it's definitely no disrespect to Chewy's or to Papacitas, but
yeah,
this is the real stuff now.
It's a good stuff.
It is. It's really good. I think I'm a red guy.
You're a red guy?
I think I'm a red guy. But I've also had some green at certain places that I've liked, but I've liked red pretty much everywhere I've been. So
yeah, see,
I think I'm going to be a red guy for sure.
See, this is how we know that Coach Hooten is really making his way into Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's already thinking about that biggest decision that they're going to ask him: are you a red or green guy?
Yeah.
And so these are the important questions that we all have to know, or else it's just not going to work out, Jason. I don't know what to say here. No, it is a lot of things, And how's your experience been so far when you're here in Las Cruces? As far as getting out in the community and everything.
Well, the community is, I think, is one of the biggest strengths of the town of Las Cruces, of the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a town; it's a city. I was really surprised at how big Las Cruces is.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat because it has a lot of different areas and pockets. Whether it's Picacho or Sonoma or Mesilla, or there's just a lot of different little areas that are really cool. And the A Mountain area up there, and so we're excited. I mean, everywhere we've been, it's been just open arms from everyone, and everyone's just been so friendly and nice. And my family's excited about getting in. Our kids are going to go to school at Centennial, and they're very excited about that right now. And overall, the experience has just been tremendous.
Well, if I can tell you this, you're going to love it more, especially if your kids and your wife like getting out to the outdoors, hiking and all the stuff like that. There's day trips you can do. There's different things that you can get out here. One thing that annoys me the most when some people say that there's not a lot to do. And I'm going to tell you right up there, just over there in that building over there is Convention Visitors Bureau. You want to find something to do, you go up there and you ask them, and CTV can go ahead and give you. Our friend Ed Cardigan is up there, and he can let you know if you guys want to take a day trip somewhere or something else like that. But yeah, there's a whole lot to do, especially if you love the outdoors and the history I'll give you a little piece in case you didn't know that. Pat Garrett, sheriff of Doñana County,
Yes.
his grave is actually not too far from here.
Wow.
Yeah.
My son will love. He's a big history buff.
Is he big?
Yeah.
Billy the Kid was held in the jail over in town of Mesilla. So
yeah. No, I think those are things that we're really looking forward to, and and also like just all the cities around here. Being able to go to White Sands and into the Mountain Gods, and just traveling around.
Just everything that is. I know we're not talking basketball. We'll get back to it eventually. Just to let everybody else know, but there's so much that you can do with just these little day trips. You just take a little drive out, up to Rio Doce. So if you want to get some skiing, and we got the lodges up there, that whole thing. You want to enjoy the weather. I mean, here we are. I mean, I know it's May now, but we had this in February.
The weather has been. Every morning I wake up, I look outside, and I'm waiting to see a day when it's cloudy and maybe a little rainy, and just hadn't seen it yet.
I will tell you this: you've been here, I think, long enough to kind of get the worst of the windy season. Where we get the dust storms, and occasionally you'll experience a brownout for the first time ever, where there's so much dust that they're going to tell you to be careful on the highway.
Right.
But weather-wise, it's one of the reasons that this is really a sports town, because I mean, I'm just looking out over here. Just see right here, we got palm trees. We got the grass out here on the yard, at the courtyard here at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District. And, these blue skies and a great sunset. You're not going to get this pretty much anywhere else except New Mexico. So,
yeah, it's amazing. And I love that pretty green grass. We're looking at a few homes right now that don't have it, but
you're going to get down.
I'm going to make sure we have some grass for sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So it's one of these things that makes you fall in love with this place real quick. The community, the food, the atmosphere, just that whole sense that you have here, where you might be just visiting for, a short time, that weekend that you came over, I think, or that week that you might have been here beforehand, but you have that feeling of that, I think this is a pretty cool place to be, hang out. And of course, we are glad that you are here, and happy that we're looking forward to this next basketball season for sure today.
Yeah, again, I just can't get over the weather and the food and the city, and then just and also everyone you talk to that's been here before, whether it's someone that's worked here before or lived here before, they just have nothing but positive things to say. I just really haven't had anyone say something negative about this place, and so my family and I are really excited to live here and be here. We're looking forward to, we had 19 years in Huntsville, and it was a great time and a great place, and we made a lot of great friends. But it's time for a new adventure, and we're excited about that adventure, and looking forward to making the same kind of friends, and having the same favorite food places, and making the same trips to places here in the city, or in the state for that matter.
Yeah. You mentioned before that you were staying in Chris Janz's place right there. What was that conversation like with Coach Janz to say, like, hey, I'm the new head coach and I need a place to stay?
Yeah, so that it didn't really go down that way. But I've obviously known Coach Janz for about 20 years, so we've been friends for a long time. But Mario and he are really tight, and they stay in touch. And so Mario got that set up for us with Chris and Sherry, and so it's been a lot of fun staying in that house. They have a beautiful place, and it's just been very convenient for us. Mesilla there where they live is not very far from campus, and so the drive in every day is maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then and then also just being able to have my whole staff there together, and us to be able to visit, communicate. I think it has a lot to do with the reason why we've gotten off to such a great start in recruiting.
Yeah. Well, like you said, as far as recruiting goes, I mean, right now you're sitting at 4 players, and like you said, in the next week or two, you could be up to 9, or you're up to 5. I keep forgetting you made the announcement earlier today. Thank you. These mics pick up everything, guys. So just want to let you know, at the table next door. Just want to let them know that. But yeah, I mean, you're really hit the floor running with everything that you've got going right here, and I think that's great that you're already to that point where you're going to start talking about, okay, where do we get to practice?
Yeah, we had to. I mean, we were put in a in a slot there where when coming in, we had to get some staff, had to have some staff lined up right away, and then as we knew, we had to go get 13 players, and there's really when that portal opens up, you got to get in it. You got to get in there right away, and if you wait a little bit too long, it could be too late.
Yeah.
And so again, our staff has done a tremendous job of just working really hard and, you know, uh, getting a lot done right now. Just a lot done.
Well, like you said, you've got a lot to do, and it's going to be a pretty good season. I think everybody looking forward to it. We can't wait for that first game in November. And just want to thank you for taking a little bit of time and coming in to talk with us.
Oh
You
man.
know, is there anything that you want to let the town of Las Cruces, the university, know about what we can expect from this season?
Yeah. Well, I think that I've spoke at a few functions thus far, and I think the biggest resounding thing is just always, you know, I think our fans are super passionate, and therefore I think our teams will match that passion. Like I think our teams are always going to be playing physical and playing hard and playing fun and playing defense, and they're going to be fun to watch. And I think that's what our fans want, but I also know that's what they deserve. And so, I really think whoever comes to see us play, you know, sometimes your first impression is the only one you get.
Yeah.
And if you want to make a good impression on someone that first time, and hopefully they come back again. And so I think that when everybody comes that first time, I think they'll see a team that's a lot of fun to watch, and they'll keep coming back over and over again.
Well, I've got a good feeling about this coming season, and especially after talking to you, and I feel even better about what's going to be in the future for NMSU basketball. And no pressure, Coach Kill came in his first year, and
Man,
he had a pretty good season. So
what
no
a
pressure on
yeah,
that one.
what a tough act to follow. I mean, Coach Kill came into a pretty tough
I mean,
situation.
we won't be upset if we get an NIT.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, he came into a pretty tough situation, and right away he got this thing back up on the tracks, and I think the train's going in the right direction for sure.
absolutely.
And I believe he'll have another great season. Coach Kill's he is a high character guy. I love his passion. I love his energy. He's a guy that's very passionate about the sport of football, but he also is very passionate about his student athletes and his players, and that's to me that's the most important thing.
Well, I can tell you this: when you hang out with Coach Kill, you could be just talking with him for 5 minutes, and he feels like that guy that's been your neighbor for 20 years, man. That's exactly what it feels like when you're talking with him. And I've run into him a couple of times out in the wild, so to speak, and still the nicest guy you'll ever run into. So
yeah, I mean, just a class act. He showed up for my press conference. I'm not sure how many football coaches show up for a basketball coach's press conference in the country. That meant a lot to me. I think I told him that, but it really meant a lot to me. And we'll be 100% behind him and his program, and we'll be supporting them all year long. I'm a big football fan. I don't know if I would be a very good football coach, but I do like football a lot, and I don't know a lot about the X's and O's of it, but I think it's a sport that will make every university better. I think when your football team is good, no matter where you're at, where you're living, when your football team is good, I think it really, really, it's the first. It's besides volleyball, it's the first sport that plays, and it opens up your school year. Besides soccer, those three sports start your school year off. And,
well, I'm going to tell you this: like I don't know, last year was an amazing year for NMSU sports. I mean, we did have the bowl game with Coach Kill his first year in there. Our soccer team ended up becoming WAC champions for that last year.
Amazing.
Coach Adams did a great job this last year with the
terrific
basketball team. Baseball, we're in a little bit of a rough spot right now. Softball's doing okay, but we just saw sports overall at NMSU has a long history of I guess I don't want to say a long history of kind of hit or miss seasons, because we've had our dry spells too.
Sure.
You can talk to Jack Nixon about a few of those seasons with the football team, but everything right now, like in the past few years, really seems like it's rolling in that right direction, and we really seem to be picking it up right there. And with your addition, I feel like we're just moving right along with that to make sure that everything is good. So between Coach Jordan, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Michael Jordan yet or anything like that. Coach Jordan, Coach Kill, we've got Jody in there. We've got all the sports and everything moving in the right direction. And I say that a lot of that really has to do with Mario's ability to find those puzzle pieces to kind of fit in here.
It's you're spot on. I don't know, if Mario gets enough credit. I know right now, the people are saying some things, but when you have that much success in your athletic department, it's from it's from the head coach, or it's from the athletic director hiring head coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Let's don't get that mixed up. That is you're trying to hire 17 coaches. Is one not going to turn out every once in a while? Absolutely. You can't be perfect, right?
Yeah.
But to look at our program right now and to look at all the head coaches that are in place and the success that they're having, it starts from the top, right? And so Mario's done a terrific job of, putting those people in place and putting, as you said, the puzzle pieces in place, because it's the start. You've got to have the good coaches in order to get the good
And
teams.
I'm going to look right into the camera and say this, because I think, like you said, Mario doesn't get enough credit for what he does. He got his 5-year extension on his contract, so he's going to be here for a while. But and he's an old NMSU baseball player too, and I think he said it best in the conference. Nobody's ever going to bat 1,000. But the way that Mario's been able to pull all of these coaches in together to create this atmosphere that I think is actually really positive here at the university, barring a few, a couple of things. But like you said, you're never going to bat 1,000. I'd probably say he's batting at least 700.
I always was told, if you think about it, like it's baseball, right?
Yeah.
If a hitter gets a hit 3 out of 10 times, he's special.
You're doing really well,
right? He's special.
That's it.
So if you're hitting 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10,
yeah,
that's pretty stinking good.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing about the culture that he's built is look at the coaches and look how well they all get along. You look at your press conference and the football coaches there, and and the strength coaches there, and the women's basketball coaches with the football coach, and you've created a family atmosphere, which is what you want to go to work to every day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that all just kind of trickles down to your student athletes, because if your student athletes see those things and they see all the coaches that are all supporting each other and they're all getting along, then it's just creating a huge culture and a huge family. And we just got a little work to do in men's basketball right now. We got a little bit of that culture to get rebuilt, and it's not going to take us very long to do that.
Oh, no, not at all. And I have no doubt in my mind that we are on the right track, and you're the guy that's going to go ahead and get it done.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for taking some time just to stop by.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Anytime.
Whenever you feel like you want to stop by and maybe say a little something, you got something coming up or something that you want to, let everybody know that the team is doing their thing. Hey, we're here pretty much every Tuesday night. Stop by, we'll say hi, and we'll see if we can go ahead and pitch.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Thanks a lot for, like I said, stopping by. And that's going to do it for another Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast. We are here, of course, every Tuesday night at about 6 o'clock right here on the patio at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District, right outside the Broken Spoke. So if you're coming in, come out over to the back patio and you can hang out with us as well. But once again, thanks to Coach Hooten for coming out and joining us. And we will see you next week for Mesilla Valley News Sports.